Hello, baseball fans. Big old Buck back with another episode of Buck's Baseball Podcast. And today we're going over the Cardinals' arch rivals, the Chicago Cubs. Are these 2025 Cubs a legit NL Central title winner, playoff team? Do they have enough offense to help out their pitching staff? Who are my all-time favorite Cub players? Is there a Cub player that I would invest in MLB the Show 25? All that and much more on this episode of Buck's Baseball Podcast. Let's go.
Hey, take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd.
All right, when you're talking about the 2025 Chicago Cubs, I think you start with their pitching staff. We always start with the pitching staffs, but I think you definitely start with the Cubs pitching staff. I think their starting staff is the strength. I think it's the best starting rotation overall in the NL Central, even better than the Pirates. I don't think they have a Paul Skeens, but Shota Imagnaga is very, very good. He's not Paul Skeens, but he's very, very good. And Justin Steele, 1A, 1B, very, very good. They signed Matthew Boyd. They brought him in. They have Jameson Taillon still. And Javier Assad, I heard that he's got a little arm issue going on right now early on in camp, but hopefully he'll be all right. They signed Colin Ray as well, and they have some youngsters that they could lean on if Assad can't go and if they need more depth later on. But Matthew Boyd is a sneaky good signing. I know for a few years there he was not very good, but he was actually really good last season. So the starting rotation, I think, is very solid for the Cubs. And then you look at the bullpen, they brought in Ryan Presley to close, so that's going to help them out a lot. They got Porter Hodge, Ryan Brazier, who they also brought in, Tyson Miller, Caleb Thielbar, Keegan Thompson, Julian Merriweather, and like I said, they brought in Colin Ray. They have him listed as long relief, but he could do that, but he could also be a spot starter if needed. Was decent, I believe, with the Padres originally, and then I think he played with the Brewers as well. So definitely a good, sneaky, under-the-radar signing there. So overall, their pitching staff is very solid. Now we get into the offense. Could this be another potential landing spot for Nolan Arenado? I mean, in theory, yeah. I mean, right now at third base, they have Matt Shaw listed, who is a 2023 draft pick, probably ready to do it, but having another season in the minor leagues wouldn't be the worst thing in the world either for him. Do they absolutely need Nolan Arenado? No, but I think this would be a good fit. Would the Cardinals trade him to the Cubs? Probably not, but it's interesting to talk about. Let's look at their potential lineup right now. They have Ian Happ, Kyle Tucker, the big trade. If they don't get him locked down, though, that could be bad. Seiya Suzuki, Michael Busch, Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner, Pete Crow Armstrong. Love me some PCA. Matt Shaw, going to be a fun kid to watch if he does get the start in the season. And then Miguel Amaya is their catcher. They brought in Carson Kelly to play backup catcher. Right now they have Gage Workman, John Birdie, who they brought in as well, and Alexander Canario on the bench. Now, I don't think that's how it's going to completely shake down. I think Birdie will be on the team. I think Carson Kelly will be on the team. Those other spots to be determined. I don't think those are necessarily etched in stone. Now, I like this lineup a lot. I think Pete Crow Armstrong eventually is going to be a top of the order type hitter. He's got more power than you think he does. He's a great defender. He gets on base, and he can steal bases. PCA is legit. He's the real deal. He's one of my current favorite players to watch, and I look forward to watching him this summer. Ian Happ, streaky. Kyle Tucker, great hitter. Seiya Suzuki, he needs a bounce-back season. Michael Busch was decent last year. Dansby Swanson, another hitter that could use a bounce-back season. Nico Horner, I like him. I know he's been talked about in trades, so I don't know. It's an interesting offense, but they do have some key pieces on the farm, and we're going to take a look at that now. They have a very solid farm. All right, so if we start with Tier 1, that's Matt Shaw. Matt Shaw is Tier 1. Third base, he's 23. He's a AAA. I don't think he has much more to prove at AAA, but if they brought in another bat to play third base, it wouldn't be the worst thing to have him start there, not saying he would stay there. They also have a really good catcher who might push for the team this year, Moises Ballesteros. AAA, 21 years old, absolutely can mash the baseball. Played in the Arizona Fall League this fall and was great. Cade Horton, another starting pitcher who could push for the rotation. I know they have higher hopes for him. He was at AAA, 23 years old. They have Owen Casey, an outfielder at AAA. A lot of people like him a lot, but right now there's no place for him to play, so he'll definitely start there. They have Kevin Alcantara, who did get a little bit of MLB experience last year. Big dude, 6'6". You know, he could definitely be on the tier 2 list. James Triantos, 21-year-old AAA second baseman. Jefferson Rojas, a 19-year-old shortstop. Fernando Cruz, 18-year-old shortstop. Brandon Birdsell, another right-handed pitcher. He was a AAA, 24, has a chance to be pitching out of the bullpen. Pedro Ramirez, another infielder, 20 years old at high A. Cole Mathis, another infielder, 21 years old. And the list goes on and on. The Cubs have one of the and Porter Hodge is in their tier 4, by the way, and they have him in the bullpen already. So the Cubs have one of the deepest and best farm systems in baseball. If they need to make a trade, they can trade from it. They have players that could be on the roster this year. This is the power of the Chicago Cubs right here. And this is a scary good prospect pool. All right, my bold prediction for the Cubs pitching staff, I'm going to say they have the #1 overall pitching staff in the NL Central this year. I don't know if that's bold. They were great last year, but I think they'll repeat it. It is hard to repeat that kind of success. And like I said, Assad's already hurt, but they do have Cade Horton and they have Colin Ray and they have a lot of pieces. I think they could still use another bullpen arm for more depth to replace somebody like, Julian Merriweather, Keegan Thompson, or Tyson Miller, somebody like that. But there's plenty of bullpen arms out there still if they want to look for something like that. But I think they will be the #1 pitching staff overall in the NL Central. And then if you look at their hitting, I don't know, bold prediction, I'm going to say PCA is going to put up a 4+ WAR season. Is that bold? I mean, Fangraphs has him at 3, and I think they're selling him short. If he stays healthy, he's going to bang the ball around the ballpark. He's going to steal bases. He's a great defender. Yeah, I think PCA is going to push for the top 3 spots in the batting order, and he's going to put up a 4+ WAR season. Now, overall for the Cubs this year, I just don't know what to do with this team. I still think the Reds are going to win the division. That's my pick. I think they're better than the Cardinals. I think they're overall better than the Pirates. I think they're overall better than the Brewers. Again, though, we never want to discount the Brewers because they have some kind of voodoo magic I think they stole from St. Louis. But this Cubs team has a chance to push the Reds. I wouldn't be shocked if they won the NL Central. I wouldn't be shocked if they finished second and somehow snuck into the postseason. But I think this Cubs team is going to be very fun for Cubs fans to watch. I just don't know if they have enough to win the Central right now. As far as my all-time 3 favorite Cubs go, #1, easy. #1, Ryan Sandberg. I named my youngest son, his middle name is Ryan. And I grew up loving Ozzie Smith and Ryan Sandberg. Those were the 2 players that I always wanted to watch, wanted to emulate. Sandberg is an absolute god at second base. I loved watching the dude play. Make sure to keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He's dealing with a lot of medical stuff right now. Cancer sucks. Sandberg's just amazing, though. I love Sandberg. #2, Rick Sutcliffe. This dude, I loved watching him play. Like he had the most unique pitching delivery as a starting pitcher. He had a lot of moxie on the mound. He was a bulldog, and I loved watching him pitch. Easy. There's a lot of great Cubs players. There's a lot of easy answers. Greg Maddux. There's a lot of players pitchers I could pick, but I'm going with Rick Sutcliffe. And #3, this might be a surprise to some people, but Leon Durham at first base. This dude was a blast to watch hit. I was a kid growing up. WGN and TBS was all we had to watch ball games on. Didn't get to watch Cardinals. Had to listen to them on the radio. But WGN played a lot of Cubs games, so I got to see those 80s Cubs teams. And Leon Durham was so much fun to watch in the middle of that order. They had other great hitters. Sandberg was on the teams. Gary Matthews, Jody Davis, Ron Say, Shawan Dunston, Jerome Walton, Bobby Dernier. Those Cubs teams were super fun. Now, were they very good? Not really, but they were super fun to watch. Harry Carey, on TV, Steve Stone, those 2 going back and forth. Amazing time growing up watching the Chicago Cubs. And Leon Durham, my 3rd favorite all-time Cubby. If I'm going to give you one Cub to invest in, I already did a video and I named PCA as my #1. It's one of my 3 top investments for the year. So I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to say Matt Shaw. Matt Shaw should start off pretty low. in the game. He should start off as a common, maybe a bronze. So Matt Shaw, you know, if he does end up getting the third base job, is going to be definitely someone you want to pick up because he's the real deal. His bat is real. Defensively, whatever, but his bat is real. And so if you're going to be playing MLB The Show 25, PCA was already in a video. Matt Shaw would be my number 2 Cub to throw a lot of stubs at and invest for over the course of the MLB The Show 25 season to build up your stub count. So that's the video. That's your 2025 Chicago Cubs. If you're a Cubs fan, if you're just a baseball fan, let me know in the comments below who your all-time favorite Chicago Cub is. What do you think about this Cubs team this year? Do you think they have a chance to win the NL Central? If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel as well. Tell your friends about the podcast. Get them in here. We need more viewers. We need more subscribers. We need more thumbs up and comments. So please feel free to leave comments, ask questions, any of that in the comment section below. Make sure to follow me on both of my Twitter X accounts, my Twitch account, and all my other social medias. All the links are in the description below. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope you have a great Valentine's Day. And until next time, you can catch me right here. Same Buck time, same Buck channel.